Member for Oak Bay, Gordon Head.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair. Now, I recognise that government is rather desperate to land the $30 billion investment, Honourable Chair, and in so doing, we're just seeing a $1 billion investment walk from Vancouver Island, EDPR and Timber West trying to put a $1 billion wind farm investment, but of course, Honourable Chair, government's not interested in that because they're desperate to fulfil this pipe dream. But Honourable Chair, the concerns I have here, and I'll ask a very direct one, in light of the fact that everything is up to the minister's discretion, in essence, discretion to enter into secret deals, presumably handed to him or her by a company because this government's lost all credibility on this particular file, Honourable Chair. So one of the things that they might do, for example, is work out a royalty rate that might actually be $1 billion less than it would otherwise be, so that the company could then find $1 billion to perhaps give to the Qualam First Nation to get title over their land. This is the kind of stuff that the public does not trust government on because of this legislation. There's nothing that precludes government working out a back deal to say, well done, Qualam, good for you to get your title rights recognized, good for you to negotiate a cost. But we in the province of British Columbia will pay that cost, and we'll pay that cost by changing this royalty rate in secrecy so that the company doesn't actually pay it. The province of British Columbia pays it. So my question to the minister is this: why does he need this level of secrecy here, that he does not even need to give the Lieutenant Governor and Council, his cabinet colleagues, notification as to what deals he is making? Does this minister honestly believe that the millions of people living in British Columbia trust him and only him to negotiate royalty rates for generations to come because somehow he knows what's going on, Honourable Chair, and no one else does?
Minister.
Thanks, Honourable Chair, and I will walk past the ignorance of the question and just go to my answer. If the member would look and do some research with regards to legislation, the power given to the minister to do this comes from the Lieutenant Governor and Council, which is Cabinet. The ability to do this, and if there's any change in revenues or things that have to be adjusted on a financial basis, the minister, as I know, with regards to my service plan, my letters of expectations, with my responsibility to government, that anything that affects the government fiscally, I have to take back to Treasury Board. I think it's inappropriate for the member to think that it's just the minister that's making this decision. And in addition to that, if the member would like to look at 78 section 1 subsection 3, it also says that the minister must, as soon as practicable, publish an agreement entered into under subsection 1, but may withhold from publication any agreement that could be refused to be disclosed under an act that governs us all, the Freedom of Information Privacy Act. And the only thing that would be not disclosed in that, I would believe, would be if there was something that was significantly different or something that was technology or whatever with regards to the design of a plant or something that may have an effect on the competitive side or the marketplace before it was disclosed by the company in the appropriate manner. If a request were made under that act, the disclosure of the agreement has to take place. It's our full intent to make these agreements public.
Member.
Well, Chair, in fact, I have read this legislation rather carefully. I've been following this file very carefully for the last 2 years, and frankly, what I've been saying for all that time is playing out here. Here's another sellout. In fact, if you read 781-2, it says the following: the approval of the Lieutenant Governor and Council is not required for the minister to enter into an agreement under subsection 1. I don't know what the minister doesn't see about that, but it specifically says the Lieutenant Governor and Council is not required for the minister to enter into an agreement under subsection 1 in the prescribed circumstances or in respect of a prescribed class of agreements. In essence, this is saying the minister can essentially enter into an agreement. The province of British Columbia, all of us believe that we have such confidence in this minister that we are going to let him, and only him, go into an agreement with a multinational corporation. You know, this has got to be some kind of a joke, Honourable Chair. What is the justification that the minister needs these exclusive powers to go and enter into agreements without his cabinet colleagues knowing, without the premier even having to knowing, but giving him power under section 781 bracket 2 to do this? What gives him the right? This is not an autocracy, Honourable Chair. Why does the minister think it is?
Minister.
So thanks, Honourable Chair, and through to the member opposite. If you read this section, it says in the prescribed circumstances or in the respective prescribed class of agreements, these are determined by Lieutenant Governor and Council and allow the minister to sign them as the delegated authority to do so. The characteristics of these agreements are in prescribed circumstances and in the class of agreements are dealt with long before they ever get to an agreement with regards to what's in them and what the minister can sign or cannot sign. And so basically what it effectively does, it does what most pieces of legislation do and delegates authority after certain prescriptions and outlines have been prescribed by government to a minister that he can execute on behalf of government.